There's actually a good question here too from Hello Again, which is with systematic systems, how does one handle large tail events, right? Even if your system tries to minimize correlation and whatnot, you have a large tail event, let's October 87. How do you probably mentally prepare for that? I'm sure some of that comes from the 75 basis points per trade, right? That's a risk management philosophy before you even start. But how would you address that question from?
Yeah, the biggest risk of any equity investment, active, passive, you name it, is that kind of scenario, like an overnight 25% crash, right? Or 50% crash. I do worry about that. There is a hedge for it, which is basically the daily cliquets, where you buy a daily put 10% out of the money, 15% of the money. It can be hedged. Now, this hedge is not free. It's actually quite expensive. That's the only way of getting rid of it. So it's kind of something we have to live with.
Right.
But
well, I guess you could also kind of just short whatever approximate beta you have on the long side. You could short ES futures against it, and then you're only generating, alpha.
Yeah.
Right?
We actually, for some time, I had a program like that. I had a program that was market neutral. Neither me nor the investors that were running it ended up liking it.
Of course not. We've had a 10-year massive bull market. Nobody loves hedges during a bull market.
No, that's one reason. But the main reason was that I was introducing a risk that I could not control.
The basis risk of the ES beta versus the portfolio, yeah. Sure.
Now, because so far I have been outperforming the indices, but that's not really the goal. The goal is really to make good risk-adjusted returns. The risk is, this is not a program to outperform. This is a program to make money. It has the possibility of outperforming, and it will definitely outperform on the downside because it will be out of the market. So it has kind of this call option profile. When the market is going up, you're long. When the market is going down, you're like flat. And it has outperformed, but that's not the goal. But when you introduce a short leg, let's say the market or a beta or whatever, you introduce market risk, and then you are trying to capture the outperformance, which is really not the goal. And sort of like then we no longer really know where we are betting on. And that was kind of the learning of it. Is like we get rid of one risk, but we introduce another one that we don't like either. So it was kind of like, okay, we stopped it. At the end of the day, it's like I had some of my money in it to try it, then I have other investors in it, and in the end, we didn't like it. We didn't like it. Bottom line. Now that risk, the overnight kind of crash is there. You are long the S&P, you're long portfolio. If you don't have shorts, is there. If you don't have these daily cliques, it's there. One of the things I've noticed, though, is that these kind of things happen when we are already in a downtrend. Even the crash of 87 happened after a period of deterioration. Mm-hmm. In 29, it also happened. It didn't happen in a day, but there was a moment of weakness in the market that lasts for some time, and then boom, it happens. It happened in 2012. I remember in gold, we had the crash in gold. Gold had been weakening for months and months. And it's basically these kind of things happen when the market gets really fragile. And it typically happens after a period of weakness. And then something cracks. This program is pretty good at getting out of things. So, for example, when the market fell 35% in 2020. He got out of everything in about 2 weeks. In the last 3 months, he basically got out of everything in a few weeks. So if we are no longer in an uptrend, I will be much lighter in terms of investment than if we're in an uptrend now. Can it really happen on a day in an uptrend? It can happen, but it's less likely.